or moving just 100 yards south of the railroad. East Brigade is leading. He has with him the 82nd New York, the 1st Minnesota, the 15th Massachusetts, and the 19th Maine. At first he hustles on and he crosses the Broad Run on the railroad bridge. He is accompanied by Brown's 4 12-pounder Napoleons. But the Confederates are coming on fast. So he has already sent out the 1st Minnesota deployed as skirmishers to delay the Federals. As this man is from Minnesota, they like to boast they're the oldest first three-year volunteer regiment in the Union Army. When that horse's ass, Governor Ramsey, is here, they're going to say that. They're enlisted for 90 days. And that your governor is in Washington, and he goes to Lincoln and says, I want to volunteer these men for 3 years. Would you be a little unhappy? You're going to sue like hell to try to get out. But they become proud of it. If you live through the war, you're proud of it. So they will deploy as skirmishers moving up toward that high ground in front of us. Meanwhile, Mallon's men have deployed. There's the highway. So 100 yards south of there, they've deployed just south of the railroad. Half of his men east of the railroad, half west of the railroad. Mallon has with him the 19th and 20th Massachusetts. He has with him the 79th New York and the 42nd New York, which are not Indians, as you think if you see their monument. So he deploys to the left and right of the railroad, the only place that the railroad is not built up on an embankment. So his men are more danger. On the left will be Joshua Owen, who commands the old Harper's Ferry cowards who had redeemed themselves at Gettysburg. Joshua Owen had led the Philadelphia Brigade, but he drinks too much and has been put in charge of the 125th, 126th, 111th New York, and the 39th New York. The Yankees have also decided to leave Brown's 12-pounder Napoleons, smoothbores, much better with canister, on the far side of Broad Run. Meanwhile, Arnold has put his men in position on that high ground just below that ridge over there. 6 rifle guns, as will Robert Bruce Ricketts with 6 rifle guns. Now those Yankees are in position, about 4,000 of them, when we come forward. And on the right, coming through this area where we are, is going to be Jeb Stuart's brother-in-law, John Rogers Cook. From right to right, 48th North Carolina. The 27th North Carolina, Cook's old regiment, 15th North Carolina, and 46th. You don't want to be in the 27th North Carolina. And on the left of them, coming up on their left, is Kirtland's Brigade, 11th, 26th, 15th, 44th, 47th, and 52nd North Carolina. They got hell at Gettysburg. they're probably real sheepish on coming forward at this time. And you're now you're falling back. You've now been reinforced by another regiment of skirmishers, the 59th New York. And you're now advancing. You're advancing across this ground where we're here, and we're going to get within about 50 yards of that railroad embankment. Some of the men where the ground, where we're going to take a drive where there is no fill or cuts, are going to go across the railroad. Climb it momentarily. Kill Colonel Mallon of the 42nd New York, the senior officer in that brigade. But they're not going to stay very long.